All right, so what's up, everybody? Thanks for clicking this video. Thanks for tuning into my channel. My name is Simon Hill, Black American from Louisiana, coming to you live from Budapest, Hungary. The time where I'm at right now, it's 4:40 p.m., Wednesday, June 26th, 2024. Let's get into it. So today I'm going to be reading 3 stories that I posted up on my community tab. I hope y'all check them out. There's some very interesting stories related to what's going on in America, mostly in the battle against white supremacy, right? My guy Nelson Moreno jumped into the chat. He said, "What do you call a white man on fire?" I don't know, Nelson. Tell us what it is. Tell us what it is. But shout out to my guy Nelson jumping into the chat, and shout out to everybody who's going to jump into the chat. I will be reading all the comments as they come, but I plan on being on live for just an hour. I'm hella tired. I'm running on like 2 hours of sleep, but I'm trying as hard as I can to, at least jump on live at least, 1 hour a day, read some news stories, chop it up with the people, and also post up more movie reviews and writings that I'm doing, and covering any topics y'all want me to talk about. So let's get into it. Let's get into the first story today. Let me know what you call a white man on fire, Nelson, by the way. So the first story I'm going to cover today: Alabama tells residents to pick between Juneteenth and Jefferson Davis's birthday to get day off work. So if the bill passes, state employees will only get one holiday or the other. Critics say this shows Alabama is a backward state that can't let go of slavery. A black state representative sponsored the bill and said it was a compromise. Now, the reason I'm covering this story is because I was born in Alabama, and I actually have like fond memories of spending summer in Alabama with my grandma, uncle, cousins, all that sort of stuff, riding bikes through the neighborhood, going swimming, going to vacation Bible school, catching like fireflies in jars. So when I think of Alabama, I think of like good memories. I think of good times. I think of family, friends, food, that sort of stuff. But as I've gotten older, I've realized Alabama is one of the most wicked states in America. It's one of the most evil places in America. And nobody should be living or visiting or going to Alabama as long as they continue to have these racist white supremacists in power. And to all the black people who are living in Alabama, allowing the racists and white supremacists to run that state, shame on y'all. Shame on y'all. Shame on all the black folks in Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, who don't go out and vote, who don't go out and get involved in the political process. And now we get all these stupid ass laws from these stupid ass, racist ass, crackers. You feel me? So Seven Chanel jumped into the comments. He said, if you don't know what we're talking about Alabama and racist ass America and white supremacists. Nelson Moreno says, wow, you're a Southerner. Yep, I'm a good old Southern boy, but I'm not like these crazy racists out here who want to celebrate an insurrectionist. So for people that don't know who Jefferson Davis was. Jefferson Davis was the leader of the Confederates. The Confederates were people who wanted to secede from the United States of America to form their own government based on white supremacy, based on the idea of owning black people as slaves. They wanted to get rid of the United States Constitution, leave the Union illegally, killed American soldiers, killed American civilians, tortured people, enslaved people, and they wanted to form a government around that. And guess what people in the South do? Guess where I went to high school? Robert E. Lee Middle School. Robert E. Lee Middle School, named after a Confederate general, named after a person who wanted to enslave people that look like me. You get what I'm saying? All right, so Nelson Moreno, you handle Rainey and all those people right there. We got to tear it up right now, but let's get into the story. So Alabama's House of Representatives passed a bill in early April that enshrines Juneteenth as a holiday. That's a good thing. The catch is Alabamians would have to choose to take off work on Juneteenth or on the President of the Confederacy's birthday, which is already a state holiday. This is set to put Alabama state employees in an awkward spot. Think about that. Think about that. You work for the government, and think about that. You're a black person who works for like the Alabama state legislature or any other government office, right? And you take the day off on Juneteenth, and those white folks take the days off on Jefferson Davis's birthday. Think about that. That's crazy to think about. Who would even want to celebrate Jefferson Davis's birthday? YS8 says hi. Shout out to YS8. Shout out to everybody up in here. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, Alabama makes no sense. And if you're celebrating the birthday of a person who killed Americans, wanted to leave America, who wanted to destroy American society. How can you look yourself in the mirror and call yourself a patriot? This is why the conservatives in America make no sense. Continuing here in the story. So the people who work for Alabama's government can either celebrate Juneteenth on June 19th, the holiday commemorating the day black people in the U.S. were freed from slavery, or they can celebrate the birthday of Jefferson Davis on June 3rd, who led the Confederate States during the Civil War and fought to keep slavery alive. All right, think about that. What other country? What other country would allow that to happen? You think in Germany they would allow Bavaria to celebrate Hitler's birthday? Like, what other nation would allow secessionists, racists, white supremacists, terrorists to have a holiday? Think about that. Like, no other country in the world would allow that, but America does. And people around the world think America's a great nation. It's not. It's not. America is trash. It's trash, bro. Anyway, continuing here. Employees shall be given the option to observe either Jefferson Davis's birthday or Juneteenth as a state holiday, the bill reads. Now that the bill has been passed through the State House, it will head to the State Senate and then to Republican Governor Kay Ivey. Now, Kay Ivey is a white woman, but guess who introduced this compromise? Guess who introduced this bill? By the way, Fabio Di Pietro jumped in here. He said Azerbaijan. Shout out to Azerbaijan. And yeah, guess who introduced this bill? This black woman. Think about that. That's crazy. That's crazy that a black woman would say, you know what we can do to compromise to these racist, crazy, crack-ass crackers in Alabama? Let's let them celebrate their racist Confederate general's birthday, and we'll celebrate the day that slavery ended in America. Now, on one hand, it is sort of disheartening that she didn't decide to keep up the fight and say, no, let's get rid of Jefferson Davis Day and let's only celebrate the ending of slavery. But on another hand, it's sort of like how can I say this? A way of showing people who they really are. Because if you're saying, okay, y'all guys want to celebrate Jefferson Davis's birthday, how about this? Let the whole world see who's getting off on, whatever day, June 3rd, right? Everybody who's getting off on June 3rd, we're going to know who the racists are. We're going to know who you are. We sort of already knew through your Confederate flags and your, side backhanded comments and stuff like that. But now we're really going to be able to see. So Nelson Moreno says they probably paid her. I mean, it's very true. It's very possible that our politicians could be paid off, and maybe she is being paid off by conservatives or Republicans who want to try to, make sure that they get their bills passed, but it's hard they want to have a black person lead it. This is the thing. The conservatives love having black people as their face, as their spokespeople for their evil, wicked policies, right? Like this as well. So continuing here. Here's a picture of Jefferson Davis, but I want to say F Jefferson Davis, F his mama, F everything he stands for, and F anybody who wants to rep this man. This man was a traitor to America, and I'm no fan of America. You know how I feel about America. I'll burn American flags, but this man killed American citizens. This man killed American soldiers. This man is no different than Osama bin Laden. This man is no different than Ayman al-Zawahiri. Like, this man is no different than all the people we keep in Guantanamo Bay locked up forever. This is a terrorist. But people don't see it that way, though. People don't see it that way. Anyway, continuing here. So, Alabama State Representative Wandalyn Given and other black lawmakers have been lobbying for Juneteenth to become a holiday in Alabama for years. Juneteenth is already a federal holiday. Given told the Washington Post that she would have much preferred to have Juneteenth as a holiday full stop and not have the either or compromise with Davis's birthday, which is already a state holiday. It was a compromise. Did we like it? No. But can we live with it? Yes. Are we hopeful for the future? Absolutely, said Given, who sponsored the bill. So it sounds like she wanted a compromise because, unfortunately, in a state where about 30% of the population is black, and we could definitely control all the levers of power in the state, black people don't want to get involved in the political process. We keep on voting for the couch. And so we continue to have to make compromises on basic human dignity with these crazy crack-ass crackers in all these southern states where we over-index in the population. You get what I'm saying? It's crazy, absolutely crazy that we have to compromise a federal holiday by allowing them to celebrate a terrorist birthday. America. This is America. This is the country that all those crazy El Salvadorans and Indians and Chinese are trying to sneak through the Mexican border to get into because they think it's the land of the free and the home of the brave and where everybody gets to be exactly who they want to be. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. It's a sick, evil, wicked nation fueled by satanic forces. I swear to God. All right, continuing here. Davis, a Mississippi senator prior to his stint as president of the Confederacy, was captured by Union soldiers in Georgia in May 1865, roughly a month after Confederate General Robert E. Lee, F him too, surrendered at the Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. Several people aired their outrage on X at the compromise bill, with one saying Alabama was trying to appease both the rednecks and the blacks with this move. I hate when people use the word blacks, but yeah, we're trying to appease the rednecks in Alabama. You know, every few days I catch myself thinking, maybe I should go back to America. Maybe I should go back to my home country. Maybe I should leave Hungary. Maybe I should leave being abroad wherever I am in the future. Maybe I should go back home. I always catch myself thinking that. And then I turn on the news and I realize, nah, I'm better off over here. I'm better off over here. I'd rather live in a country where there is, implicit anti-blackness than rather the explicit anti-blackness and violence that y'all niggas are living with in America. Crazy that y'all are dealing with this. I can't believe it. Anyway, going here to the pictures. So crews are seen removing one of the country's largest remaining monuments to the Confederacy, a towering statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee in Richmond, Virginia. Once again, F this guy, F Robert E. Lee. And I still can't believe that I went to Robert E. Lee High School and like all those black kids and all those black parents didn't raise hell about that. Like, think about that. Like, in America, black people are really cucked, low key. Low key, we're really cucked because we have all the opportunity to take the reins of power in our own hands and control our own destiny if we just get involved in the process. Yet and still, the majority of black folks live in states where they are controlled by crazy radical Republican conservatives who want to put up Confederate flags all over the state. I literally grew up in hell, guys. I literally grew up in hell around these racist crack-ass crackers. I cannot believe it, and my mind is warped. My mind is literally warped because of these redneck, crazy, cracker motherfuckers like these. Jesus Christ. This is the governor of Alabama. Her name is, Kay Ivey. Kay Ivey. She looks like she was around when there were slaves. She looks like she owned slaves. This picture looks like she's remembering those days fondly. Oh yeah, I remember Mr. Jimmy and Aunt Jemima and all them. They was good people now. We ain't have no trouble back then. That's what Kay Ivey looks like. She looks like she was actually out there like, whipping them boys for real, crazy. So it isn't clear if Alabama Governor Kay Ivey would sign the bill. Still, the bill needs to be introduced in the state Senate before it gets to her desk. And listen, guys, this is what gets to fly in America. This is not an uncommon sight. This is not an uncommon sight. Nelson Moreno jumped in here. He said, it's like making a statue from Andrew Tate. Absolutely, man. In America, like, we celebrate people who do wickedness, and then we fly these flags. Like Nelson Moreno, I don't know if it's legal in your country, in Portugal. Can you fly Nazi flags? Can you fly the flags of the fascist regimes that came before? And if you did, do you think people would rally around that and celebrate it? But in America, they do. In America, our crack-ass crackers that we deal with, they rally around that sort of stuff. They see this and they get a hard on. They're like, yeah, that's a symbol of freedom. That's a symbol of freedom. Symbol of freedom for who? Symbol of freedom for who? Anyway, so backward state still celebrates the Confederacy and allows the giant Confederate flag to fly on I-65, they wrote. Another person wrote, Alabama allows state workers to reveal that they're racist through choice of holidays. Somebody else told Alabama lawmakers to let go of this effing slavery. The Montgomery Advisor published a lengthy gallery of photos in June 2020 ahead of the Juneteenth, showing all the places in Montgomery, Alabama, where tributes to the Confederacy still exist. A highway, a high school, and a street all bear Davis's name. There is also a painting of Davis in the state capitol building in Montgomery. And as recently as 2000, there was a star outside the building marking the exact spot where Davis was inaugurated as the Confederate president on February 18th, 1861. Several southern states, including Alabama, have Davis' birthday as an official state holiday, NPR reported. Robert E. Lee's birthday, January 19th, is very close to Martin Luther King Jr. Day and is also state holiday in Alabama and Mississippi. Wow. Wow. Nelson Moreno says, in my country, they celebrate colonial times, literally. That's crazy. That's crazy. Empires are bad, but slavery is even worse. So I understand maybe you're frustrated by your country, Portugal, Nelson Moreno, but at least you don't have people openly celebrating slavery. Like, there are people in America who openly celebrate slavery, and we're going to talk about that because that's the last story today. We're going to talk about some racist white people in West Virginia who adopted 5 black kids and kept them as literal slaves. That is not 1824, that is 2024. Like, it's going to get real dark on this live stream today. But shout out to Nelson Moreno, all right? Let's go here. So finally, Confederate Memorial Day, which is supposed to celebrate fallen Confederate soldiers, is an official state holiday in Alabama, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Texas. I can remember vividly when I was a kid, in Monroe, Louisiana, they had a Mardi Gras parade down one of the main streets. And I was out there, trying to catch beads, trying to catch candy, hanging out with my friends. And then the Confederate soldiers, like people who tried to reenact the Confederacy, they started marching down the street in their uniforms, right? Now, all the black people who saw that just turned their backs to them. So all the white people I grew up with were clapping for people dressed up like Confederate soldiers, literally like America's equivalent to Nazi soldiers are Confederate soldiers, white supremacists, racist, genocidal terrorists who wanted to destroy the United States of America. That's the Confederate soldiers. So the crack-ass crackers I grew up with in Monroe, Louisiana, dressed up like these Confederate soldiers, and all the black folks turned their back. I was the only one who picked up some rocks and started throwing them at them. Now, I was about 13 or 14 years old, and when I started throwing rocks at these soldiers, see these big cracker redneck motherfuckers try to run down on me, grown-ass men. Like, imagine a grown-ass man running down on a 13-year-old boy. They ain't put hands on me. I stared them down, I faced them down, and I said, I ain't throw nothing. I ain't throw nothing at those racist rednecks, but I was a bit intimidated, but I was willing to say, we got to start fighting these crack-ass crackers for real. If these crack-ass crackers want to continue to dress up like actual Nazis in our country, in America, we should treat them like how we treated the real Nazis. What did we do to the real Nazis? You know what we did to the real Nazis. Let's do that to those Confederate lovers, those Confederate reenactors, all those people who are so infatuated with losers. Losers, seriously, all right? All right. Anyway, so Chief Ultimo came in here trolling. So I'm going to say my brother is living in the white man's land expecting goodness. I wonder who you're talking about. It must not be me. You must be talking about yourself or that punk, sissy, bent over backwards, shower bussy boy that is your father. Because that's not me. I don't expect goodness in this world. If you actually read the philosophical treatise that I post on my channel, where I'm actually writing down my ideas, I am not a idealist or a positivist in any sort of the sense. So Chief Ultimo, please recognize you are not talking to somebody with lesser intelligence like yourself. You are talking to a God incarnate. You are looking at a God in person. So Chief Ultimo, chill out with your trolling, because you don't really know who you're messing with. And if you want to debate, we can have that call-in show, and you can say that to my face, buddy. But you won't do that because you P-U-S-S-Y. Anyway, all right, you live in Ethiopia, you big forehead. All right, so we're gonna start roasting Ethiopia right now. You big forehead, big musty, Captain Phillips looking son of a bee. Go eat some injera and get off of my live stream. Get off of my live stream. You say there's no man as God. I'm letting you know right now you are looking at a God. So stop talking to me right now. Go out and fight the Oromo people or whoever you are trying to commit genocide against in Ethiopia and get off of my live stream. Chief Ultimo. Stay in your third world, broken down, undeveloped, dilapidated, musty, dusty, disgusting country of Ethiopia and get off of my live stream, Chief Ultimo. This ain't the Pan-Africanist stream. You can get your big forehead, curly-haired, 3-seed, ribs showing out your chest, ribs showing out your shirt, wearing flip-flops in the wintertime. Ethiopia is down bad. Chief Ultimo, don't you ever come out of here. Don't you ever come out of here. Like Kamal said, you are looking at the face of humanity. Chief Ultimo, when I say you're looking at a God, I'm not saying that I am the only God. I am saying the black man is God. Now, Chief Ultimo, you're a bussy boy, so you can never be God. But Kamal is God, Nelson Moreno is God, and any other black man that you that you interact with is God. But Chief Ultimo, you a bitch, you big forehead son of a bitch. Yeah, that's how we rocking today. Anyway, back to my topic. Like I was saying today, Jefferson Davis does not deserve to be celebrated. Nobody who looks like him deserves to be celebrated. Nobody who believes in his ideas deserves to be celebrated at all. And Juneteenth is a holiday that we all should cherish as Americans because it celebrates freedom for all of us, right? And Alabama, once again, has beautiful places in it, and it has beautiful people in it. But it's a shame that we have all this beautiful land in America that God has blessed us with, and people are not being good stewards of it. We are allowing the white supremacists, we're allowing the conservatives, we're allowing the radical Republicans to ruin our beautiful country. And you know what? It's fine with me. It's fine with me. I can rant and rave across the ocean, out here in beautiful Eastern, Central Europe, whatever you want to call it, and I can pop my ish wherever. You feel me? All right? Anyway, let's continue here with the story that will lift my spirits. Yes, Tampa dentist charged with sending violent, racist messages to dozens of victims, feds say. So this is a story that as soon as I read it, it made me smile. It made me happy because I love any time I hear about racist white people posting evil things online and getting their comeuppance. I want all you racist, sick bastards, all you trolls, all you people who don't think critically to go to jail. That's what I really want. That's what I want. I want y'all to be buried under the jail so y'all can mull in your stupidity forever. That y'all can mull in your stupidity for the rest of your lives. You feel me? That's what I hope. So I'm going to read this story here. Tampa dentist charged with sending violent racist messages to dozens of victims, feds say. This was published on June 21st, 2024. So Tampa, Florida. A Tampa dentist was indicted earlier this month after he was accused of sending dozens of threats, some of which were racially charged and praised former President Donald Trump, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. Richard Glenn Cantwell, 60, of Tampa, was charged with 3 counts of interstate transmission of a threat to injure, officials said. The Department of Justice said Cantwell sent about 100 threats to more than 40 victims between August 2019 and July 2020. The FBI interviewed Cantwell on October 15, 2019, after someone complained about threatening messages and wanted him to stop, according to a pretrial motion for detention. Despite the FBI's warnings, Cantwell spent the next 10 months sending threats to over 40 victims via social media and email, prosecutors wrote, noting that they're aware of a violent threat as recently as February. Prosecutors allege that Cantwell repeatedly sent threatening messages to people across the country who didn't maintain the same belief as he did. I want everybody to take a look at a criminal, at a thug, at a low-down, dirty, nasty individual. This is the face of evil. This is the face of domestic terrorism. And people should, and I know some people are going to say, oh, this is an overreaction. This is freedom of speech. This is a person just using their First Amendment right. People shouldn't take the internet so seriously. This is the face of a killer. This is the face of a person who will walk into a school, walk into a supermarket, and lay down everybody. This is the face of a person who will do serious damage. When we think about who has committed the most heinous atrocities across the world, they've looked like this. When they showed up on the shores of Ethiopia to rape Chief Ultimo's mama and grandmama and his father and break open his pussy, they were white men that looked like this. You get what I'm saying? When the white man showed up in Eastern Africa to take over the Eritrea, Somalia, Djibouti land, all that stuff, they were white men coming to look for Chief Ultimos like this. And then they genocided the people. They look like this, my guy. This is the thing. We should not take these threats seriously. Anytime a white man threatens your life, you should automatically call the police. Even if a white man says, oh, I'd kill to eat right now, you should call that a domestic terroristic threat. I'm sorry, police. Yeah, a white man just said he's so hungry he'd kill somebody right now. Please send the SWAT team over. Anytime you hear a white man say anything related to death, murder, guns, anything, please take it seriously because these people don't play. They've shown their cards. They've shown their hands throughout history. They're pedophilic. They're genocidal. They're matricidal. They're fratricidal. They're ethnocidal. They're genocidal. They're everything. Right? We should take these threats seriously from these white supremacists, especially when you take time to write something, right? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Nelson Moreno left a very good comment. He said, not all Trump supporters are racist, but all racists are Trump supporters. All right. So I'm going to continue reading. So some of the messages that this white domestic terrorist wrote were this. You, sir, are a degenerate piece of ish. Read your article about the great Donald Trump. It is so blatantly prejudiced that you don't even attempt to be impartial. You N-word. Yeah, the person wrote the N-word right there. I'm going to insert that. They redacted that, but it's in there. You are gay. I can tell. F you. I love what Trump does and where he stays. You ignorant N-word never cared about how the real ghetto N-word Obama and how he got rich, but you're going to get a hard-on about where Trump stays. So blatantly ignorant and liberally immoral. God bless the President Trump and his family. F you and yours. Hire extra security. You're gonna need it. I plan on effing you up just for the fun of it. That's a threat. That's a violent threat. I am scared right now. I'm going to join this lawsuit. I'm going to join the federal government's case against this man because I'm threatened right now because I've received comments just like that from crazy white supremacists who get blocked and deleted. You get what I'm saying? That's crazy to write that to somebody. To write that, I'm going to F you up, I'm going to kill you, and then you're all this N-word, that. Yeah, lock that man up. Put him under the jail. Put the white supremacists who write racist comments under the jail. 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. We got to teach them a lesson. And I'm so glad, I'm so proud of America for actually enforcing our laws and trying to put these people away. Thank you, thank you. Reparations are due. Reparations are due. Reparations are due. And justice is coming. Ain't that the truth? Let's go. All right. Kamal says the truth often comes in the form of a joke from employers to Michael Richards. All right, let's continue here. Another message called a victim a fake reverend and anti-Christian piece of ish, according to the DOJ. We are going to kill you, torture first, then death. You will deny Christ, just like Judas, because you are a coward. Either way, prepare to die. You won't see Christ because you as an immoral degenerate. You are an immoral degenerate. Okay, so they even put the typos in here. Interesting. So the person who received the messages spent about $4,500 for surveillance cameras due to Kent Will's threats, prosecutors said. Some people might say that's an overreaction. Somebody writes a violent message to you online, and you're going to spend, about $5,000 for security cameras for your house. Some people might say that's an overreaction. It's not an overreaction when you find out the person who wrote that to you is a white man. I'm telling you guys, anytime a white man says any sort of threatening thing, please inform the authorities. Call the FBI, call the CIA, call MI6, call whoever you need to get help immediately. Anytime a white man just overreacts, when they start turning red and the horns start popping out from the top of their heads, that's when you need to start dialing 911. You get what I'm saying? And if they start getting horny, please hide your kids. The white man starts getting horny, please hide your kids. Don't matter if it's your little son, if it's your daughter, if it's a dog, whatever, a cat, a gerbil, please hide your kids. Around whites, keep your kids out of sight. That's what we're rocking with in 2024. All right? Kamal says, reparation time. I'm forever pissed about Tulsa. Ain't that the truth? But there's going to be justice for Tulsa. We're going to have justice for Tulsa. Let's go. Let's continue. We rocking big heavy right now. Let's go. All right, so. Hey, N-word, ever get tired of losing? Cannot wait to shoot your ghetto A in the street. You will die like every other N-word piece of ish. This is what this white man wrote to this person. I repeat, this is what this white man decided to write to somebody online because they didn't like their political takes. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And that's a serious threat. I'm telling you, these people are domestic terrorists. We need to be very careful of them. They should be sent to Guantanamo. Continuing here. So Kent Will also allegedly sent a threatening message to a politician, also containing an apparent racial slur. You are a degenerate C word. And maybe he said C-O-O-N. You are a degenerate C-O-O-N, and you are now the target of our investigation. Take note, because liberal N-words like you get R-worded in alleys by really big black guys that serve our cause. So you N-words are going to get R-worded by at least 5 N-words and do nothing. You are the number one target, you degenerate N-word. Once again, the white supremacists only think about big black penises. I repeat, White supremacists wake up every morning and they say, well, where are the little kids and what is the black man doing with his penis? This is what white people think about all day. And you only need to go to the hub and type in ebony, black, or BBC and see what white people think about the black man's penis. You get me? You get me? They are sick people. All right? Nelson Moreno says BBC is ingrained on the white boy's mind. Ain't that the truth? All right? Sosa says they just like me for real. Sosa, if you like BBC, that's your thing. But please don't be a white supremacist. Liking BBC does not make you a white supremacist, but like Nelson Moreno says, every white supremacist thinks about BBC. They go hand in hand. Every racist white man loves thinking about big black penises. Why? Why would you threaten somebody that you are calling the N-word and the C-O-O-N-word and then threaten to have him R-worded by BBCs? Think about that. Like, people, they are sick. And this man is a dentist. Let's not forget. How long does it take to go to dentistry school? Like, didn't we used to respect dentists? Didn't dentists used to be considered like one of the upper caste of our society? Like, how do you become a respected professional in Tampa, Florida, and you basically have life laid out for you now? Like, you can go to the marina, hop on boats, smash like Eastern European like hookers and stuff like that. Like, you can live a pretty good life in Tampa as a dentist. And you're out here online like debating with bots and nobodies and threatening people. Like, what is wrong with you? And your mind is permanently fixated on BBC. White supremacists are sick. They are sick. They are sick. All right. Anyway, continuing here. So if convicted on all counts, Cantwell faces up to 15 years in federal prison. I repeat, if Cantwell, the guy who wrote all of this, is convicted, he faces 15 years in prison. I love it. That makes me so happy. I am so happy. I am so happy about the idea of this man. I'm so happy about the idea of this man spending 15 years in prison, and then he really gets to experience big black penises. I'm so happy. I'm looking forward to that for you, Cantwell. I'm looking forward to that. All right. Nelson Moreno says BBC porn is scarring young white minds. It's scarring them. Hopefully it's making them less racist, but most likely it's just, already ingrained in them to be fixated on the black man's penis because of their own fear of genetic annihilation. Continuing here. So, the numerous messages Cantwell sent to various people threatening injury and death, his disdain for law and order expressed in many of his messages, his bragging about his firearms collection that he will never surrender, oh God, his expressed desire to buy illegal firearms, and his continued pattern of making threats all show Cantwell poses a danger to the community if released, prosecutors said. I agree. Prosecutors, I agree with you. Lock this man up. I will testify on the stand that he was in Simon Hill Keeps It Trill's YouTube comment section threatening me. Yeah, I remember a Cantwell in my comment section. Yeah, Your Honor, this man threatened my life. I spent $10,000 trying to protect my kids and hide my dog to stop them from bestiality and pedophilia. So, yes, Your Honor, I was afraid for my life because what he wrote is that he would violate my son and my dog. So I was very scared. And I took the threat very seriously because he's a white man, sir. Yes, that might make me racist. But, sir, I watch the news and I look at the statistics. And if they say 13% of black people commit all the violent crime, then how come 18%, 80% of pedophiles in America are white men? I was actually afraid. Your Honor. I was sincerely afraid that this white man was going to do the horrible things he wrote to me online. So, yes, give him 15 years in jail. I want to see it. Now, where are all the racists at now? All right. Nelson Moreno says the gun makes him feel like he has a BBC. That's the thing, too. In America, we worship the gun because I think all the microplastics American men consume is shrinking the American man's penis. So what do they need? A big black phallus to actually make them feel masculine. That's where all the gun worshiping comes from in America. I'm telling you, it's the microplastics, baby. Continuing. So in a separate court filing on Friday, prosecutors said when Cantwell was asked to meet with the FBI in July 2021, he said he was was not doing anything illegal and that his actions were justified. He blamed the government, minorities, and other entities for being the reason he had been speaking out, prosecutors wrote. After refusing to speak with the FBI, Cantwell allegedly sent a text message to the investigator that contained a middle finger emoji. God bless America and F. Biden, Cantwell wrote, followed by another middle finger emoji. That's white privilege right there. Because any black man that did that, sent a FU emoji to like the prosecutor, refused to speak to the FBI, they would have kicked down his door and did him like Chris Dorner. Stop playing. Like what? White people get it so easy in America, yet and still they have all the time in the world to be racist. Why? Why? You get to curse out the police, you get to fondle little kids, you get to jack off your dog and get away with it. You get all the privileges and benefits because when I walk into the grocery store, I'm followed around. But when this guy walks into the grocery store, people don't hide their kids. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You have all the benefits of being a white man in America, and yet and still you got time to be racist and harass police, and now you facing up to 15 years in jail. Ha ha. Is you stupid or is you dumb? God damn. All right, continuing here. Court records show Cantwell was appointed a public defender who has not responded to the WFLA.com request for comment. In a court filing, the defense argued in support of pretrial release. Cantwell's attorney argues that while he is accused of making threats, prosecutors never proved he ever planned to act on them. The filing notes that Cantwell served in the Army in Iraq and developed post-traumatic stress disorder and depression. He also struggled with alcoholism. Boo. Oh, he struggled with, poor Cantwell. He served in Iraq. Oh, he has PTSD. Oh, he has depression. Oh, so that's an excuse for him to be racist and threatening people's lives and owning guns. Owning guns. No. I'm so sick of these white sob stories. Save your white lily tears. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Don't blame other people. What do y'all tell us? Cantwell, shut the F up. All these white lily tears, they can drop on the floor and shrivel up. Like, who cares? Oh, he went to Iraq. Nobody cares, bro. Cantwell has no prior criminal history and practices dentistry in the Zephyr Hills area, documents show. WFLA went to the dentist's office in Brandon, where it was reported he once worked. There was a photo of him on their Facebook page from 2017. We are waiting to hear back from the corporate office verifying his employment. The government presented no evidence that Dr. Cantwell is in danger to anyone, the filing reads. While the government proffered that Dr. Cantwell made online threats, it presented nothing to suggest that Dr. Cantwell would ever act on these threats. Magistrate Judge Thomas Wilson pointed out in court, the defendant made threats to kill a number of people after the FBI warned him. Think about this. Think about the white privilege you have to have. The FBI knocks on your door. Mr. Cantwell, we're receiving reports. You're posting too much death threats online. Can you please stop? Can you please stop? And Cantwell sends a text to the FBI and says, F you coppers, F President Biden, Donald Trump 2024. And they allow him to keep on doing it. Like, think about that. Think about the white privilege. Like, no black man in America could get away with that. No black man in America could get away with that. Yet and still, he kept on crossing the red line. You know how racist you gotta be to make the FBI like knock on your door and be like, please stop. Like, think about that. Like, you're working overtime to do it. All right. Nelson Moreno said he got PTSD from watching a snow buddy getting rammed by a pack of ninjas. Probably. Big facts. That probably happened in Iraq. That probably happened in Iraq. He was on tour of duty shooting at innocent civilians in Fallujah, and then his wife sends him a picture or a 50-second video from a Nokia flip phone, and she's getting that train ran on her. The Triz man. Got her legs all up in the air, all holes filled up. Getting packed out in Bangalore, Maine, while he's out in Fallujah shooting at innocent civilians. Sick. All right, some of these white boys need a leash. Absolutely they do. All right, Nelson, you going too far, man. You need to be like a dominatrix cities white boys, because you got the gift of gab with it, man. You killing them right now. Anyway, so I'm not going to have somebody killed on my watch. I'm not changing my position. He will be detained, Judge Wilson said. Shout out to Judge Wilson for holding it down and keeping this thug, this gangster, this terrorist, this sick individual, this sick son of a bee in jail. because he deserves to be in jail, all right? Not let out. Keep him in there, all right? And that goes to any of you out there who want to continue to post racist messages online. You want to keep on trolling me. You want to keep on attacking other black people, other black creators. Come on now. Where y'all at? Where's all the N-words? Where's all the monkeys? Where's all the bananas? Where's all that racist stuff y'all used to post? Post it in here. Post your threats. Nelson Moreno says, dominatrix, that's sus, Simon. I don't know the word. I don't know the exact word. Dominatrix, I don't know. What is the name for a man who dominates, like, other men? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know the name for that. I'm sure there's a career for that. I know it's called a drill sergeant. Yeah, you should be like a drill sergeant. But like a drill sergeant in like a white boy training camp. You're a drill sergeant in a white boy training camp where they get the ish beat out of them and they have to say, thank you, massa. Can I get another one? And you continue to like beat the hell out of them, right? That's the way it should go. Anyway, the final story I'll read today is the saddest one. It's the sickest one, but it goes to show that these white supremacists have no boundaries. All right. So Jesse Paris, a.k.a. Shade Nkrumah, says, peace and love from Denver, Colorado. Denver, Colorado. B1, salute. Salute to Denver. Salute to all the brothers out there in Aurora, Colorado, and everything like that. I was actually looking up Denver because it actually looks like a nice city, a nice place. Once again, guys, I'm living abroad. I'm in Europe right now, and I want to continue traveling, and I don't want to live in America, but every now and then, my mind is like pulling me, and my heart is pulling me, like, go back to the States. We got unfinished business to do. We got to change America. But then I turn on the news, and I see this. White couple accused of locking black adopted kids in shed are back in prison. This white couple tried to keep black children as slaves in America in 2024. It makes me think sometimes this is impossible. It's impossible. It's not worth doing. It's not worth fighting. We're dealing with crack-ass crackers in America that come from a lineage of evil. The crackers in America literally are satanic. You won't know evil until you go to Louisiana and really meet some crack-ass crackers. You don't know evil until you're out in the middle of Mississippi getting pulled over and you face to face with a crack-ass cracker. You don't know evil until you've been to America, bro, and you meet our crack-ass crackers because they are sick. They come from a lineage of evil. It's in their DNA. I swear to God. I swear to God. And it's not all white people. It's just the crack-ass crackers and the white supremacists. I'm telling y'all. Anyway, I'm currently in Aurora, Colorado. It's a sundown town. Wow. How is Aurora a sundown town, though? Because I heard Aurora is the black part of Denver. You get me? I know they're two separate cities, but they're like adjacent to each other. But I heard, is Denver the sundown town or is Aurora the sundown town? Because I heard like 30% of all the black folks in the Denver area live in like Aurora. Anyway, when I tell them it's not this country anymore in the comment section, I hear crickets. Deep inside, they know what's what. Hey, that's deep, come on. And so Nelson Moreno says, another white L. Anyway, let's read this story. So white parents, I'm reading from the Independent, by the way. So, white parents accused of locking their black adopted children in a shed and forcing them to do labor are back in jail after a judge raised their bond in light of new charges. Donald Lance and Jean Whitefeather were arrested in October after police received a welfare report from their neighbor. When police arrived at the couple's Sissonville, West Virginia home, they found 2 of their 5 adopted children locked in a 20-foot by 14-foot barn on their property. The girl, 16 and 14-year-old boy, were deprived of hygienic care and food, police said at the time. Officers also found a third child, 9, inside an unprotected loft area of the main house. Look at that, man. Think about that. They kept these children in a literal slave shed. This is in 2024 in America. This is 2024 in America, man. In America, they kept black children in a slave shed like this, 14 feet by 20 feet, locked in there, 14-year-old and 16-year-old boy. They come from a lineage of evil. I'm telling y'all, it's in their DNA. Anyway, Jesse Paris says Aurora, Littleton, Lakewood, Inglewood, Loveland, Castle Rock, Parker, Centennial are all sundown towns, Denver suburbs. That's crazy because you got to break that down for me, Jesse, because like Colorado and Denver, right, is one of the most liberal places in America from the outside looking in. It always votes blue. Democrats control like the state legislature, the city councils in a lot of places and stuff like that. It seems like on the outside looking in, Denver is like Colorado, smack dab in the middle of America. You get what I'm saying? So you got to break that down. Like, how does that work? How do you have sundown towns in a place that on the outside looking in is like legalizing marijuana, gay marriage, Black Lives Matter protests, white girls got the Black Lives Matter tattooed on their face and stuff like that. You got to break that down. So explain. So Kamal says, agreed, Simon, I've been to Aurora. Let us know what you mean. All right. When I tell them it's not their country anymore in the comment section, I hear crickets. Deep inside, they know what's what. I think they still think it's their country and they're trying not to give it up. I think we underestimate like the diversity in America because what's happening right now is that the Latinos and the Hispanics are going through whitening. Like we weren't around when the Italians and the Greeks went through whitening. But you notice when the Hispanics pull out their ID cards, their driver's license and stuff like that, when they're arrested, they can identify as white because Hispanic is not a race, it's an ethnicity. And within Hispanic and Latinos, there are white Latinos, there's white passing Latinos, then you have Afro Latinos or Black Latinos. And so within all of that, there are so many white passing, white adjacent, or full-on white Latinos that a lot of them are coming to the U.S. and going through the whitening process that happened at the beginning of the 20th century to the Italians and the Greeks. So I do think the white supremacists have a trick up their sleeve, how they're going to maintain dominance, at least in sheer numbers, for the next century or century and a half. So Kamal, to some degree, is it their country? I feel like, yes, the country is still in the hands of the white supremacists. The fight is not over. The war is not over. And we can get it back. Or we can have it for the first time, however you want to frame it. But, they're very tricky. They did not stay in power this long without having some means of maintaining their status quo through trickery, through thievery, or just blatantly lying, right? Oh, hey, Jose and Gonzalez, now you're white. Like, that's what they're doing right now to the Hispanics, in my opinion. All right. So Jesse says both parties are right-wing white supremacists, or they are white supremacists. Both parties are rabid or racist white supremacists. Okay, I got you. I get what you're saying. No, I agree with that. Like the Democrats and the Republicans both are problematic in a lot of ways, right? I just find it very interesting, right? I've met only one person from Colorado. He was a white boy from Aspen. He was my college roommate named Walker Hill. Cool guy. He dropped out like by the second semester. He was kind of dumb in the head. He never learned how to read. Like he skated by on white privilege and good looks most of his life, right? But he was cool. He was hella racist though, because he was from Aspen though. He was hella racist. Now that I think about it, Walker was like hella racist because I was the first black person he met. And I'm pretty sure like I made him never want to be around black people again because I was wilding in my early 20s. All right. So Jesse says, you're talking about the honorary Caucasoids. Ain't that the facts? Yes, we have some honorary whites, and they are getting closer and closer to whiteness, right? Think about this. They keep on saying the interracial marriage rate in America is going up. But when we actually break down who those marriages are, the most of the marriages that are interracial marriages are white men with Asian women and white men with Hispanic women, and then Hispanic men with white women, and then like the lowest out of the low is black men with any other group of women other than black women, right? Like white people are expanding their genetics, of course, because that's in their lineage. They came to the New World, raped and pillaged the women here, and spread their DNAs, created whole new races of people. Technically, the Hispanics, the Latinos are a mestizo people, born of the products of the forced sexual intercourse between the European and the indigenous person, as well as the black African slave, right? So yeah, they're just doing what they're doing. They are whitening the Asians and the Hispanics as we speak, right? They are trying whatever they can to expand whiteness and keep it as broad as possible to fight back against, what is ultimately not white, which is black liberation, which is the ending of white supremacy in total, right? So Kamal says, yeah, I've been around Greater Denver. I'm afraid sundown town is a stretch. Now, I do understand those suburb towns outlying the big black city being on the edge from Philadelphia to Los Angeles. Okay, all right, okay. And Jesse says, remember Kobe got caught up there in the early 2000s. Okay, Interesting. You guys handle that. I have not been to Denver. Maybe I went to Colorado Springs. I feel like I went to Colorado Springs as a teen, but I don't remember. But yeah, you guys work that out. I've never been to it. All I can say is that, you know, I want to visit Denver at least once. I want to visit Denver, Aurora, Colorado Springs, because I love mountains and I love just being out in nature. Anyway, so continuing here. So this white couple pled not guilty to child neglect charges last October. Kanawha County Circuit Judge Mary Claire Akers handed each a $200,000 bond, which they both posted in February. Last month, a grand jury indicted the couple on 16 new counts. Local outlet WCHS reported. Akers raised their bond to $500,000 each as a result, putting both Lance and Whitefeather back behind bars. Along with human trafficking and neglect with serious risk of bodily injuries or death, I don't find the bond to be sufficient, the just said at a recent hearing, the Atlanta Black Star reports. The new charges include human trafficking of a minor, civil rights violations based on color, race, and/or ancestry, use of a minor child in forced labor, and child neglect, creating a substantial risk of serious bodily injury or death. This is literally a pedophile, because I would not be surprised if these children were also sexually assaulted. If these children were sexually assaulted, I hope this man gets the longest sentence possible and he meets the biggest, blackest brothers behind bars who know how to handle punks like this. Seriously, this man is sick. What type of man just can't hire Mexican laborers? We got more illegals in America than ever. And you want to enslave black people again. You come from a lineage of evil. You are literally from a lineage of evil. And I would not be surprised if these children also take the stand, or their lawyers say that, they were also sexually assaulted as well. If that's the case, I hope these people burn in hell and they also get the worst punishment possible in jail. Seriously. And this is this evil woman right here too. Sick, disgusting lady. She looks like a lot of those racist crackers I grew up with in Louisiana. My 8th grade teachers, the lady behind the grocery stand, the people that give me mean looks walking in the stores. She looks like all of them combined in one person. She looks like the spirit of all of those evil people that I grew up with in Louisiana. And I hope she goes to jail forever too, because she might be sexually assaulting those kids as well. These people are sick. They are nasty. They are nasty. They are demons. They are demons walking the earth. All right? The black man is God. The black man is God. The black man is God. And who's the devil? Who is the original man? And who is the devil? Who is the devil? We know who the devil is. I ain't even got to say it. I ain't even got to say it. I ain't even got to say it. Anyway, continuing here. The couple sought out 5 black children to adopt and forced them to do labor because of their race, prosecutors have said. This abuse began in a Washington home before continuing at the West Virginia residence where police found the children, according to prosecutors. The couple pleaded not guilty to the new charges. Whitefeather has since claimed that the children were using the barn as a teenage clubhouse and were not being held against their will. But according to the indictment, neighbors told investigators the children were forced to perform farm labor and were not permitted inside the residence. Earlier this month, prosecutor Christopher Krivoniak also argued that the cash used for the couple's initial bond may have been illegally obtained, according to WCHS. Krivoniak says the couple sold their residence in Tonascanet, Washington for $725,000, and 3 days later, Whitefeather's brother posted the $400,000 total bond. WCHS reports. Krivoniak says this means the bond money may have come from the profits of selling a home in which they abused their children. Whitefeather's defense attorney, Mark Plants, has denied this. The state's position is that these assets were used to maintain and harbor minors in violation of the human trafficking statute. Plants said at a hearing this month, according to WCHS. Our position is that that's not true, and we look forward to court in which we can prove otherwise. The cash is now under a protective order until the matter is decided. The couple is scheduled to appear in court again on September 9th. I wish these people the worst. absolutely satanic and evil that people would do this to children. Seriously, as a woman, like, forget race, man. As a woman, how can you look at children and have them working out in the field, not getting educated, beating them, abusing them, maybe even sexually assaulting them? Absolutely horrible, man. I wish these people the absolute worst. And that goes to show, man, we have a long way to go in the fight against white supremacy. The things that these people are doing is sick. It needs to be put on Front Street. This needs to be the face of crime in America. This needs to be the face of terrorism in America. These people need to be stopped. They need to be really, really punished. Seriously, seriously. Anyway. So I'm going to read some comments and then I'm going to log out. So Nelson Moreno says the average white man is weaker than the average black woman. The average white man is weaker than the average black woman. I'm actually going to stand on that and say I agree, because black women are the most mistreated in society. And if a white man went through what black women go through on the daily, they literally might shoot up 10 schools and then, sexually assault 20 dogs. And then try to fondle 14 kids, because what black women go through, from their hair to their to the body images to the beauty images and beauty standards that they have to uphold, is hard being a black woman. Anyway, continuing here, Jesse Paris says, "Damn, KKK Karen, that's worse than a KKK Karen. Like, that is satanic. Think about that. You kidnapped black children, specifically 5 black children, to make them work as slaves in your fantasy on a farm in West Virginia." Think about that. I just need some help, man, said White Boys by Nelson Moreno. That's funny. J.C. Paris said, a.k.a. Shane Nkrumah. Oh, wait, this is from Kamal. "I believe it more as I realize I last visited in 2009. Kamal, Jesse said to Kamal, "That was 15 years ago. It's gotten worse." And Kamal says, spot on. So, agreed. First them. All right, Simon Hill keeps the trail. Absolutely. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this live stream. I'm going to try to do at least like 1 hour a day of me chopping it up with the people. I got like 30 things to do all the time. Hardworking English teacher, trying to also go to the gym and stay focused and stay healthy, stay alive, but also just, find time for myself as well. But I love doing these live streams. Jesse Paris says, "Sounds like the descendants of slave owners." Yeah, this is the thing, man. A lot of white people like to say in America, my family came here in 1911. We're not slave owners. These people have interbred with each other. Think about this. There might be a black person who's half African and half African American. Now, is that child, the child of those two people, is that person descended from slavery in America? Yes. Now think about this. There might be a white person whose parents literally came here yesterday, and then they meet the love of their life, John, and John's parents have been here since 1666. You don't think John's family has some slave owners in them? You get what I'm saying? Yes, there are way more white people who are connected to slavery by lineage and history than they want to admit in America. And the truth of that is in a live stream that I did on my channel covering that. Go check out the live streams on my channel where I talked about how the kings and presidents and major captains of major companies all around the world, not just in America, like in the UK as well, and in France, many of those people are direct descendants of slave owners. Many of the most powerful people in the world are direct descendants of slave owners. That is not hyperbole. That is a fact. Every U.S. president, ironically, except Donald Trump, has been the descendant of a slave owner. That includes Barack Obama. I'm not joking. Through Barack Obama's mother's lineage, he is a direct descendant of a slave owner. Okay? Now, if you don't believe me, go watch the live stream I did or read the article that I posted on my channel talking about how a lot of powerful people are descended from slave owners, but that is a fact. That is a fact in America, and we have to admit that. Okay? So Jesse says, yeah, they have FBA, DOS, freedmen, all the same, right? Many have N's in their family trees somewhere. They just quiet about it. Facts. All right. So I want to say shout outs to Jesse, shout out to Kamal, shout out to Nelson Moreno, shout out to everybody who came in the chat and was chopping it up with me. I'm going to try to do this stream tomorrow, maybe around the same time for an hour with the people. And I'll post the stories up on my community tab. So if you want to read what I'm talking about, just go to my community tab on my channel and you can see it yourself. Y'all be easy out there. My name is Simon Hill, and peace.